Hi boys and girls, so today I'm here to talk to you about the different types of financial aid that you will encounter as you apply for FAFSA. So these three different types are actually gift aid, work study, and there is also loans. Alrighty, so let's start with gift aid. Gift aid basically goes on into two different offshoots: grants and scholarships. And basically grants is money that you don't have to pay back. So always remember that. If there's anything that you do remember from this video, remember that grants are money that you don't pay back compared to loans, because these two may be something that you will stumble across when you do apply for FAFSA, and you do not want to confuse one for the other because it can really make a big difference in your life. There are two different types of grants. We have the Pell Grant and we have the Fseog. Let's start with the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant is federal financial assistance. Like I said, you do apply for the Pell Grant when you're applying for FAFSA. And for the Pell Grant, it really is just need-based. Really, depending on how much expected family contribution you will be having, you will have an acquired amount of money into your Pell Grant. Now let's move on to the Fseog, and this is basically the federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant. This grant basically comes after the Pell Grant. So this is for any individual that does have an extreme financial need. This is when you will be approved for the Fseog grant. And again, this is supplemental, meaning that it is in addition to the Pell Grant. This is for someone that family expected contribution is very, very low. Okay, so now let's move on to our scholarships. Scholarships are not paid back. And for scholarships, you either have them renewable each year or they are like a one-time thing. It really does depend whether a school gives it to you based off of your GPA. There can also be like athlete scholarships. Now let's move on to work study. Work study is basically one of the easiest types of financial aid to understand. Work study is a job obtained while enrolled in school. Available based off of FAFSA, and you do get paid directly, so you can use that money for your classes, your books, supplies, transportation, anything like that. So work study does at least pay you minimum wage, and the hours are based off of each school site. Now let's move on to loans. So for loans, there are two different offshoots, and you do have public and private. I will do a separate video talking more about loans, but for any loans, this is money that does have to be paid back. It's basically just borrowed, and you have to pay back with interest. So just to summarize, there are three different types of financial aid for college and university. There are gift aids, work study, and loans. For the gift aid, you do have your grants and your scholarships. For the grants, you do have the Pell Grant and the Fseog. Both of them are based off of how much financial assistance you really do need. And you always will get the Pell Grant before you get the Fseog. This is just a supplement if you do need more financial aid than just the Pell Grant. And you also have the scholarship. So again, it's another type of financial aid that you do not have to pay back, just like the grant. Then we have work study, and this is also based off of you applying for FAFSA, and this is obtained through your school, and you get paid directly, and you can use that money for whatever school expenses you may have. Then we have our loans that divide up into public and private, and this is money that you do pay back. Again, money that you do have to pay back. It's basically just borrowed and you pay it back with an interest. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about different types of financial aid. There are many different types of ways to pay for college or university.